Hmm. Yeah. And we're ready for the streaming. World War III and yeah, lift it up just a little bit. Y'all, I only came on to the internet right quick, you know, to say hello. I wanted to get on the internet to say hello, and I don't really got a plan, right? I don't really got nothing to talk about necessarily. Um, but I am looking at Donald Trump right now. I'm looking at that lady Stormy Daniels as well. And let me just say real quick, over this past week or a couple of weeks, it's crazy. It's actually a very insane time in the world. You probably know that. But gosh dang, it's so insane. It's so wild. But this trial, this Donald Trump trial, by all means, it's like blockbusting and it's uh, over the top and fairly unprecedented here in the United States. But it's so wild and crazy that I all but forget that this trial is even existing. I almost forget about it every single day. I like never ever look into it. And it's not wild. I mean, it's so interesting, but there's so many other things that are interesting as well. It's terrible. Um, but I found myself on the Drudge Report right here, just because I like the perversion. I like to look at it. I like to wonder about this guy, Mike Drudge. Pretty, pretty well known fella. I don't know if you ever heard of him. It's pretty famous. He runs the website called drudgereport.com. And I'll just mention real quick about Drudge. I wonder when we're ever gonna see him or hear from him ever again. And how do people just vanish and become unseen and unheard from ever again, but they're still alive and we know about them? They're just very, very good at not being on camera and stuff. And it makes you wonder. Like with Drudge, that was very interesting. I understand that Mike Drudge, he, he was already pretty well known, but he got super duper famous for creating the Drudge Report, drudgereport.com. Way, way back, got super famous. And this was after, I guess, the whole Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky scandal. Understand that that's where Mike Drudge got super duper famous. All right. And so as the years went on, the Drudge Report it seemed to be a very, very amazing place for people to get news and tips and headlines of stuff, and it's still basically the same thing. It's still basically the same exact thing that it always was. However, upon reviewing the headlines every single day, start to realize that Matt Drudge, if he indeed runs this website, has lost it a long time ago. And I'm not sure why, but he's lost it, right? He's pretty much sowing discord and sowing chaos. And I don't know, I guess that's something to do. And that's what he's doing. That's what I noticed. Ever since Donald Trump got to be the president, Matt Drudge has slowly and surely turned his relationship with Donald Trump into a bitter, bitter blood feud. It's something like Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And I don't know if a lot of people know what I'm talking about, but there's a serious, serious beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And it's serious. It seems real serious. Like they very much dislike each other, those two. And I'll have you know that in other places on the internet, they're discussing Drake's and Kendrick Lamar's rap beef like 1,000 times more than the Donald Trump trial. I guarantee you. All right. People are all over the Drake Kendrick Lamar beef. Donald Trump trial, not necessarily. Not necessarily, but a lot of people are concerned. As far as the Drake and Kendrick Lamar, I know a lot of people are choosing sides. I've heard a lot of people say that Kendrick Lamar, after these series of diss tracks, that Kendrick Lamar has won, decisively won. Or I don't know. I heard that from a lot of people, but I have to know and be sure that Drake. A lot of people think that he won the rap battle, and the thing is, I heard the multiple rap battle beef songs, and what I can say is that both these men are winners. I mean, the beef between them might be very serious, and it might be, well deserved. Perhaps maybe they really, really, really don't like each other. But either way, both parties are making mad money. All right, let's just think about it. Let's stop. Think about it real quick. Even if Drake lost, he won. He won a lot of money. They both won a lot of money, and I think that's what's so important behind the scenes. What's important is so we make a lot of money. All right. And in front of the scenes, who knows, man? People like drama. People like to hear clever rap lyrics and stuff like that. And so that's what the people want. Whether it's right or wrong, this is what the people want. I'm a little bit all over the place, but um, Donald Trump, he is in trial. Matt Drudge, he done lost it a long time ago. But I don't know if I could blame him for losing it. Before I press on, I want to mention for the people who do know Matt Drudge and are kind of familiar with the turn that the Drudge Report has taken, I want to say on behalf of Matt Drudge, on behalf of Matt Drudge, I like to say that it was about, I don't know, 7 years ago or something. It was a long time ago now. It trips me out to think about that it was a long time ago. But it was about 7-ish years ago that Matt Drudge, maybe 7 or 8, and Matt Drudge saying, hey, we don't tighten up, like in general, here in America. The fact is, we're being oppressed. I mean, like super oppressed. And Matt Drudge says, hey, if we don't tighten up, soon, if we don't get on our act soon, we're gonna lose everything. And I didn't doubt him when he said that. We're gonna about to lose everything. And since then, certain things have come to light. And Matt Trush is exactly correct. The thing is, he's not the only one who's correct. A lot of us were calling that as well. But in the end, it seems that Matt Drudge is probably just sick of us and sick and tired. Sick and tired. Can you imagine if you were like a person and you thought of yourself as super elite, or that you like know a lot of stuff, and you want to change the world, you want to help the world get better, and then you see all these people below, all these little people, and they keep doing the wrong thing, and you keep telling them, hey, y'all need to tighten up, and they just keep doing the wrong thing. Maybe it'll make you mad. No, maybe it'll have you losing it after a while. Can you put yourself in Matt Drudge's shoes? Might have you losing it. All right. And in fact, as we go on, I'll have you know that many people are fixing to lose it. Okay. Fixing to lose it. Might I remind you of that guy with no name who lit himself on fire outside of the Donald Trump um outside of the Donald Trump trial? All right. No, he doesn't have a name. Everybody forgot. Nobody ever knew. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And that's disrespect. I mean, this guy, he lit himself on fire and he threw a manifesto up in the air for everybody to read it. You know, I was listening to Chase Geisers the other day. Um, and Chase Geiser's theory, and it might be correct, and I might agree with it. I'm not sure, but I heard it. Chase Geiser, he was saying that when it comes to people lighting themselves on fire, right, it's been a thing. People do it now, or people have been doing it, but it's trending. Chase Geiser, he's like, when people light themselves on fire like that, according to studies or whatever he had read, it's because that person is mentally ill. Typically, you would imagine most times, 97 times out of 100, the person is mentally ill, and that's why they did it. And I still remember Aaron Bushnell's name. Lord knows there's an Aaron Bushnell Street over there in Palestine. Aaron Bushnell Street's probably all we know. And he's saying it's like, okay, they stand for something. They make a stand. Oh, look, I made a stand. But really, really deep down, they were just looking for a reason, because these mentally ill people are kind of compelled to light themselves on fire. And they're just looking for a good reason to do it. And so they start to manifest that life. They start to manifest that destination in their mind. And inevitably, they figure out one reason or another to light it up. Right? It's strange. It it's strange. But in attempts to kind of like relate or something, I'll say this. Working with, say, big power tools, which I have done, there's sometimes you get a thought in your head, just because what you're working with is pretty damn dangerous for the most part. If you're working it wrong, you could hurt yourself a little bad. And so, thoughts go into my head. It's like, okay, look at that bandsaw. It's cutting everything. It's not even thinking about it. It'll cut anything what you put in its way. What if I were to put my hand in there? It's the thought. I don't want you to think I'm crazy, all right? All right. Because I'm willing to guarantee that most men have probably thought the same thing. Like, what if I were to put my hand in there? Would it cut my fingers off? And I don't think about that very long before I realize, yes, indeed, it'll cut my fingers off without hesitation. And then, And so the thought is, what if? Okay, what if I cut my fingers off right now? What would happen then and stuff? What would that be like? Right? It might sound weird, and it is weird. Then I think to myself, um, what would happen? I don't know, but it wouldn't be worth it. Whatever would happen after me cutting off my finger, say if I cut off a finger or something, what would happen after that would not be worth it. And I think that's why most people they think that thought, and then they're just like, better be careful. It wouldn't be worth it. So it's that kind of feeling. It's like, oh man, if some people they get that feeling like, hey, what if? Start thinking in their head like, what if I light myself on fire? What'll happen then? What'll happen then? And I don't know, man. It's like a sick bottomless rabbit hole, I suppose. Because what would happen then? I don't know. And how would they know? Um, in regards to the last guy who set himself on fire, what'll happen after you set yourself on fire is that you might not die right away. You might die after hours of whatever. I don't know if it's painful or embarrassing or what it is. You're gonna die much later after you burnt yourself to a crisp. And then guess what? Nobody knows your name or cares. So what happens after you burn yourself alive? That's exactly what happens. Pretty good reason to never ever do it, but however, it's a mental illness, so the more people do it and the more the news kind of like puts it out there, the more people probably will do it. It's terrible, right? I don't know if I want to make this a long broadcast. There's things have been putting off today. I had a little bit of a, I don't know if I call it a lazy day, right? But pretty easygoing day. I'll tell you that right now. Pretty easygoing. Yeah. And mainly the reason is this. I want to talk to you about this before we get up out of here. Um, to be very candid, I want to let y'all know that your boy don't have money. Right? If I ever make a rap song about having money, just assume that I got it and I got it from somewhere. But in the meantime, your boy doesn't have no money. And over the years in which I've been on YouTube for some reason, your boy hardly ever, never had any money. Kind of interesting to think about. And I gotta say, in a certain kind of way, I'm very comfortable with not having money. I've lived it. Like if I wasn't comfortable, then how would I be here? Like it's my lifestyle, I suppose you'd say. But at the same time, money's an issue, right? In fact, I would have to assume that money is the biggest driving factor of all the chaos and people lighting themselves on fire and stuff. Probably has a lot to do with it. But anyways, so like right now, for example, things happen. Sometimes things happen, right? When you're poor. Am I right? So like when things come up, takes a little bit longer to resolve it. Whatever financial things that you got to clear up. And that's whack. It's like, it is what it is. Kind of whack. Everything that needs to be handled will be handled, but it takes a very, very long time, right? And so now, for example, today, there's things that I was doing. There's things that I was attending to, but at the same time, I didn't do too much. Um, like uh, in reference to money, I didn't get no money. I didn't get any money today. On a day like today, when a guy ain't getting no money, that's it's whatever. You know, sometimes people don't get money, but also I don't have no money. That's like a double whammy, isn't it? It's one thing to have money, and then on a particular day you're not getting no money, and it's like whatever. I have money on reserve. I don't need. It's called a day off. That's what a day off is. I figure. Right, but it's a double whammy when you ain't got no money, you hardly got no money, and also you're just not making no money. It's a double whammy. It's a double whammy. And for a fella like myself, I have to say that there's likely I don't countless times maybe countless times. I wouldn't dare to count how many times in my life that I've had no money and also at the same time not making no money at all. A lot. And then, most of the time what it is that I'm making money that day, or I have money, or I'm making it, one or the other. I might be dead broke, but at least I'm going somewhere and I'm making that little bit of money, right? So that kind of feels good. Or like on a day off, say when if you're not making no money, but you already have money, that feels pretty good too, right? But say on a double whammy day in which, it's a double whammy, it's a chat like it'll enter my thought process, and I'm talking about first thing in the morning. This is the first thing I think about. Like, oh shit, I don't have any money. I'm like, oh man, I'm not even going to get no money. It's like, oh god. And then I start thinking, it's like there's little things to do that need to be getting got done, even if I'm not getting no money. And so I go ahead and I take care of those things. It's not like I lay down and just weep to myself. No, I get up and I start doing what needs to be done. All right. But there's that lie. There's that voice. There's that demon. That's whatever you want to call it. Science. There's your brain imbalance. And it'll be like, man, man, you suck and you're slipping and slacking and everything, dude. Like, what the fuck? And oh man, this is like, how are you gonna pay your next bills? So you got bills coming up. How are you gonna pay those? God, you don't even got shit. You're like, you don't have no money to buy shit. You don't have shit that would be bought with money. Uh, you don't know how you're gonna pay your bills, and it's like that kind of a voice, and it'll get you depressed. Right? It'll get you depressed, and that's real. However, depression is not real, as Andrew Tate has explained, and multiple other people. And I dare you to debate me on that. It's not real. All right. Getting depressed is real though. And so today I had a um, pretty good go of it, I guess you would say. Yeah, I had those thoughts. Yeah, somebody was talking, and yeah, I was hearing it, and yeah, I felt a little bit like, oh man, insecure, maybe. Um, what I did personally today, that's just one of the things I did. Yeah, I wrote it down right here, actually. I wrote it down right here. I wrote it down. It's a big thing for me. I don't know how many people out there is just writing this stuff down every day. Writing stuff. Write it. Write it if it's important. I'm talking to myself right now. Write it if it's important. All right. So this is what I wrote. I said, when I get stressed out, I am listening to lies and I'm ignoring opportunity. said, I am blind when I am overwhelmed. I plan to write the same thing down tomorrow. After I wrote that, I couldn't help but know that I wrote that. That's a real thing that I wrote. Maybe I'm lying to myself when I wrote that, but I don't know. I don't know that that's a lie. In fact, it seems real truthful that I'm listening to lies. And don't we all get into that? Get into that rut or something where it's like, um, it hits you and you're insecure. Now you're feeling some sort of a way. But meanwhile, perhaps later on down the line, even you will realize that none of it was ever necessary and none of it ever did anything for you. Think back. Think back. I want you to think back. And I know that you're not going to remember, right? Or like think back recently. Maybe there is something. There's a time that you remember you got overwhelmed, you got real stressed out. It's like teeth grinding, you feel insecure. You just want to punch something. You maybe want to choke something, right? Um, you're listening to lies. And maybe I'm lying to you, but I want you to consider that you're listening to lies. And guess what? Nobody else can hear those lies outside of your head. And if you were to sit and look around, chances are, statistically, that there'd be nothing bad going on around you. Statistically, chances are it's just peaceful and there's nobody feeling the stress that you're feeling. So they might be feeling their own stress, but off in their own world and dealing with their own thing. Has nothing to do with what you're thinking about and what you're stressed about. They're not thinking about that. And then later on down the line, you may recall that it's not going to help you. It's not going to do anything for you. So what it does do, um, what it does do is it gets you all stressed out. And my theory is it's the kind of stress that's actually not beneficial to human beings. There's certain kinds of stress that is beneficial to human beings. Like for example, the physical fitness. That's stress. That's good. That's some good stuff. But worrying all day in your head and listening to the voices, that ain't good. It's not going to get you hardly nowhere. And furthermore, might I say, that there's people out there and they're dealing with all sort of whatnot. You got it so damn good. And I'm talking to me. I'm probably talking to you out there as well. Just in case if you need to hear it. You're doing so damn good. You might not believe it, but you're doing so freaking good that you should be amazed. Like for example, and we could just be here all day making examples. You don't have the urge, at least yet, you don't have the urge to light yourself on fire. You haven't lit yourself on fire. Anybody who's feeling like or has just previously lit themselves on fire know good and well that you're doing a lot better in your life than them. And there's also everybody's got a story, and everybody's dealing with stuff. You got Donald Trump over there. I forgot you're in a trial. I keep forgetting you're in a trial. But that seems pretty serious. It seems serious, and it seems like a messed up situation. All right, but it's kind of cool to be in a messed up situation in front of everybody. That is kind of cool. So you got to give them that. But before we get up out of here, I just wanna let you know some people got it rough out there. Some people got it real rough. I was in the drive-through the other day doing my very simple job, and it is what it is. You don't get paid much, but it's pretty simple. People need it. You're in a drive-through, so I'm in the drive-through, and I'm doing my thing, my little part. What little part that I could do, I'm doing that to get people their Chinese food and maybe put a smile on their face, get them the hell out of the drive-through. Feel me? Sometimes, because I like to be personable. If it's taking a little while, and if I happen to be there and I see that you're there and you don't mind maybe talking a second, maybe I'll talk to you. Whatever it is that you want to talk about, it's up to you. The world's yours. I mean, it's your drive-through. You're coming in to get the food. I'm here to take care of you. What do you want to talk about? And so I meet a lot of people, and they got various reactions. This one lady, she told me very, very quickly about how that she was real tired. I probably asked how she was doing, and she said she's real, real tired, and that she just woke up like an hour ago or something. And we're talking about this is, I don't know, 6 in the evening, something like 5, 6, 7 in the evening. And so she mentions that she's both tired and that she woke up um, maybe 1 or 2 hours previously. And then I let her know, I said, damn, dude, that sounds like a double whammy. That sounds like a double whammy. You just woke up and you're tired. That's not good. That's not good. I asked like how this came to be, this incident. And as you might expect, she told me that she works overnight. Right then I said, oh. In my mind, I said, oh, because I know, look, people like me do it, right? Whatever you want to call it, we're desperate or whatever, or we're team players or whatever you want to call it. People do overnight, but for the most part, it's not compatible with human life, and in fact, it might actually be very detrimental to your health. I mean, everything's a scandal, everything's debated, and all of this, but there's some people that debate that doing overnight, it'll throw you out of sync with the world, with the sun, with the universe. It'll throw your health off. You can see articles about if you're working overnight, that's the same thing as a carcinogen. All right. I don't know exactly what that means. They're saying it'll probably get you to catch cancer working overnight like that. And of course, it doesn't get, not everybody works overnight catches cancer. It's just that it throws your body off for various reasons. Anyways, this lady, she said to me that she works the overnight shift over at University Hospital. So I don't know if it's like the same in every big city or something, but what you got to know about San Antonio is the worst of the worst probably goes to University Hospital. And if you're doing the overnight shift, I can assume that you're traumatized. All right. The worst of the worst, and everything where people, they don't have no money and they don't have no choice, and they're in desperate injury or something. They come to University Hospital, you're gonna see the worst of the worst. And this lady, and I'm just talking to her and I'm looking at her, and I might have my own stresses or whatever, but I don't have her stresses. And whatever stresses I have right now, I cannot say that I would trade her. I don't care how much money she's making. Everything that she's sacrificing by doing overnight, And I don't know how you're gonna unsee all the shit that you're gonna see. I joked with her. I said, my late uncle, Uncle Willie, may he rest in peace. He worked at University Hospital, so that's why I come. I know everything goes through University Hospital. And I let her know, my uncle was a special person, but to see what you're seeing on a nightly basis, this guy had to become a hardcore alcoholic. I don't know. The alcoholism started way before, but he became hardcore, and I can't blame him. Look at all the stuff you're seeing. Bad, bad, tough positions. That's what I'm saying. And so, if I find myself in a situation in which, in my mind, I'm stressing out, it's very important to know that these other people out here are dealing with a lot worse, and that it's only lies in our head, right? Getting us all stressed out. It's not going to get us nowhere. Meanwhile, I'll have you know that we've all been put in a simulation. This simulation is going to be changed about one way or another. It's going to be shaken up. There's going to be a reset of some sorts. And then everybody, problems are going to get worse. Whatever problems you might be having now are going to get worse. And so it's going to take strong people to deal with it. That's the long and short of it. It's going to take very, very strong people to deal with it. And we have a time right now in which we can train, whatever that means. We can train ourselves, right, to be legends for the future, to have some sort of examples, right, of strong people who've been through a lot. I'll get up out of here, but today I was listening to somebody. I don't even remember who, and it could be all made up. Maybe he's lying, but this person who I was listening to, they said that America, this could be up for debate, but he had reason to believe that America was founded by dangerous men. I don't know. Some people might poo-poo that, or they might have a different opinion. But it seems to me that America was founded by dangerous men. It doesn't mean that they were going around slapping young ladies and demanding sandwiches and stuff like that. But it does mean that push past a certain point, these men will definitely come kill you, will likely choke you to death. Dangerous, dangerous men. And I don't know what comes after America. I don't know if it'll be called America or New America or America 2. But whatever it is, will be founded by dangerous, dangerous men. And in the meantime, all these males out here who aren't dangerous, just over here taking up space, unfortunately. That's terrible. And that goes for me too. Finger in my face. Anyways, I'll holler at y'all tomorrow with something a little bit more It's something a little bit more cohesive or something. I don't know. I'll holler at y'all, but we're in World War III. The end is near. Everything's changing. Um, your problem's going to get even bigger, but you're going to be stronger, except for all the other people are going to get weaker, thrown to the wayside, and it's terrible. And we're going to have to watch it happen. Either that or die with them because we're so weak and we're so damn lame. All right, I'll holler at y'all. It's May the 7th, 2020, 2024.